Beautiful. Kijk, ik ga nou eens een beetje laten in die achtergrond spelen, nee. Ek hoop hy's in. I hope it's in now. And all right, what's today? A new day. A new blessed day. 10th of the 10th. Kluitjies, Tawades, Kayeza. We give thanks and praise to our Creator for the gift of life, love, and peace that we experience in this life and in all the lives to come. Welcome. We are together, wherever you are at, wherever you're from. It was decided that we should meet here today, and I look forward to sharing what I have learned and what I have for you if you'll stick around. I'd like to know who you are, where you're from, and if this is your first time, this is only the second time that we're doing a live interaction connection like this on TikTok. And I'm very excited to be doing this daily so that I can create a safe space that allows us to have respectful conversations around the things that touch us as soul carriers, the things that affect us as kind citizens, human beings with manageable bullshit. That's literally what we are. We know we've all got our own goodness and everybody, but I would like to create a space where, at least today, and if it means that today that seat is for you, feel welcome. It's all love and it's all respect. Please feel free to share your comments and to share your views. Today we're going to be specifically talking about the enormous. It blows my mind how reality shifting things, and I don't say that lightly in the sense that I'm trying to bait you into a conversation, because we're so used to seeing that and hearing that with all these things. Here are 5 things you've probably never known about. Why is nobody talking about? I get that. And some of it sucks that even really valuable information and incredible creators and creatives here on this platform, Indigenous, individual, Aboriginal, doesn't matter who they are, but they are independent creators, are not able to reach you with their message because of the conditioning our psychology and our attention has been under. So you might hear things like, I can't believe that nobody's talking about this. And for once, I want you to trust yourself and what you feel inside when you hear that. When you hear that sentence from somebody and you're like, ugh, just give it 1 second so that you can respond, because that's a reaction. So that you, the real you, can respond and be like, okay, this person just said, here's something that you probably haven't heard. Is it possible that just for the sake of trying to win my attention, so that somebody doesn't just keep, they even got an auto scroll now, which I'm like, wow, okay, awesome. But just so that I can get your attention, I have to employ the same things that get used to squander your attention. I want you to ask yourself, maybe sometimes, am I the one saying, no, I don't want to hear it? Because there's a lot of value in there. And I've got something that I want to share with you that I've already shared. You can go check it on my profile. If you're like, yeah, here's another one, just scroll to that side, go to my profile, and then you'll see there is a court case document that I shared that is in line with part of the reason why some of you have even joined this community, and we became followers. And if you're not a follower, please consider. Yes, I don't use follow because we don't follow each other. We know that the godliness in us, that life that is in us, is something that all of us come from, and that we are fellowship with each other. So I don't want to lose my train of thought. I've also got, this is quite, the music that if you were hearing before, that was the Kalahari San, and it was instrumental music from the Kalahari San, the Kung or the Kung San of the northeastern Namibia. And this music you can find available on the same resource where I had shared yesterday, where we spoke about the land wars and the history behind what's actually happened in South Africa's past, and that even the indigenous or Aboriginal sects within the communities would partner and share and connect with the invaders and colonialists, as well as the Amaxhosa, and within the Amaxhosa tribes, just to try to stop the disparity and this disagreement we seem to be having, a desire to be physical about who was here first, who are you? Let's understand that our history is not our past, and our past has been specifically erased or pushed aside or altered so that history can rather take its place. And we discovered in this really cool book, or I shared yesterday in this really, really amazing book, the Land Wars. The book was called Land Wars. Sorry, I just want to quickly go to it. But you can also find the link in the replay of yesterday's live on my YouTube thingy. So you can click on there so you can take your time and watch it in there as well. But it was the Land Wars, the dispossession of the Khoi or the Khoisan, and in the Cape Colonies. So the dispossession of the Khoisan and Amaxhosa in the Cape Colonies by John Laban. This was a publication in 2020, and there was a lot of really valuable information in it. And I did remove the resource because every day when I do a live on my website, the first tab will be the live resource for today. So it will run for the course of the next day until the next live. And today's one is that actual court document. And that's the reason why I'm here today. So if you just jumped in and you just got on board, welcome. It's wonderful to see you. I love you spending your attention here. I promise I will do everything I can to not waste your attention and your time that you're sharing with me, and to share value and knowledge. Because just like you, I'm in search of the truth, and where we are looking for the truth, we can have a conversation in a safe environment where we are operating from a point of departure that is specifically focused on kindness and respect. And if we can mutually respect each other, you can share your views, you can share your discussion. I'm going to open up after a while, after I've just shared the breakdown of what this High Court of South Africa in the matter between the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure and the Kluitjieskraal Aboriginal Collective Community and all the unknown persons on that court case number 14414/2023. I'm going to do the breakdown for that. I want to just share some of the insight for those of you that are maybe hearing about this for the first time. I want to also just give you an opportunity to also be like, what is Rasta Jesus talking about today? I don't know what he's talking about today. Is what court case? All of this in reference to the impact from what happened on the 31st of August when Queen Valerie had the first landmark win of proving that the judge, the registrar, and all the rest of these other institutions have no jurisdiction, and that the laws that are set up by the corporation, which is South Africa, and those that run that corporation no longer hold power or control over you, the natural free man, woman, the Aboriginal. And I know there's a lot of conversation and debate around like, okay, but colored, and that's specifically why we're having these live conversations. Other than myself, there are other creators that are sharing videos and informative videos. I try to reshare as much as I can, and that's also something that you can do. It's not just oh, hey guys, don't just forget to like and subscribe, and then also please be doing the thing where you share it for me, because that's like the script that you think everybody is reading from. You doing that is how you help. You just saying, Here is a creator I don't know. Here is an account I have never followed. Here is an opinion that I share. Here is a group of people on the internet that are talking about something that I know is affecting me and my life and my community, and I am not hearing this in the mainstream. I'm not hearing it being shared anywhere else, and maybe this guy isn't right. But at least here's a space for us to have this conversation. I don't know where another opportunity might exist, but this is where I've been brought to. I've been guided here. And if you understand that you are a spiritual being having a physical experience, then you'll understand that the reason why we are connecting today and why you're even here today and why you even are following or fellowing rather and involved in this conversation is because you're supposed to be here. And for today, we are specifically going to be talking about the impact of this High Court outcome. Sorry, this poll is also, let me just quickly cancel that. What outcome of this and how this is related to the outcome of the court case on the 31st of August. Now, I know this, we had a live interview with Queen Valerie. You can also go review that on my TikTok, where you can actually see when I had the conversation with her directly and live, and we answered some of the questions. And I know there's still lots more conversation that has to happen, and we will. But because of the outcomes of that court case, proving that the corporation that is South Africa, the emblem, the judge, the magistrate, the registrar, all these man-made laws that are outside of the true laws, the Aboriginal natural laws of God, not the government ordinance department. Those results are why we need to have these conversations. Because of that outcome, here is a second case where the exact same principle was applied, and Aboriginal people were in a high court, and they were having this case against the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. And this is Kluitjieskraal is just like up the road here, Tilbach side. Okay, well, I'm in Malmesbury, so I don't know where you're from, so please let me know who you are, say hi, where you're from. But Kluitjieskraal is just up the road here, West Coast, the Tilbach area, like you are driving up towards the Northern Cape. And there's been a lot of, I think that we need to, I'm actually trying to see if I can't have someone from Kluitjieskraal actually have a conversation with us so that the people from the community who this is directly affecting, and as a result of their actions, we get to see, okay, this is how we can step into the direction of liberation. This is how we can fight on a battlefield that we did not design, with rules we are not familiar with weapons that aren't of the same caliber of the enemy. We can actually fight and win. And I want to have that same community come on and share. But if you go and do a bit of a search, you won't find anything about Kluitjieskraal. You'll find maybe a couple of like the typical searches where there's like the things to do, in our small towns. Say, there's nothing to do there. You won't really find anything. But this community has been in let's say, a skirmish around Aboriginal lands and Aboriginal communities in this area that are being disenfranchised, and they were taken to court. And now here's the thing about this court case. Since the fact that this result happened with like if you've been in the court, if you know, well, I'm talking to my South African people, we are basically all either you've been dragged there or you've had to go there, if you had a criminal record or whichever. The way that the court works is that you either have a lawyer or you represent yourself, and then there's the whole with a normity party and they speak in all sorts of other languages, and they got like, but in the persona of all the things that specifically make you feel like, yes, like I've got such a headache. I don't list to even try and approach this. Al wat ek net gedoen is, ek het gesteel. Ek weet ek moes nie gesteel het nie, maar ek het kos gesteel, want ons het nie werkie. I had to do, this was a last resort. I was pushed into the corner. I'm a human being. I've been suffering and been under sufferation, and this is not something that I want to do, but I have no other help. And now I'm in front of the court and I'm trying to plead my case. But that whole charade, that entire setup, and I know you're going to come at me and you're going to be like, don't so discontent. And you see, it's people like you that are anarchists, anti-African, and they say preach kindness, and we know we all suffer from a severe trauma because there's only one race, the human race. Forget this division rubbish. There's one race, the human race, soul carriers, human beings. And all of us are living in a constructed, and I might lose some of you when I say this, but we're living in a constructed reality that's based on principles and systems and functions that you are not taught how to navigate. It's not in our education system. It's not available in the mainstream, except if it has some benefit or it contributes to the narrative of keeping us dumb, distracted, and ready to be slaughtered. So this information you won't find anywhere, really, about this court case other than other creators. And even if you are like, yeah, I'm not going to see this, you do the thing. Go and find it. I've shared the document so you can see in my profile, or if you go to my website, the etiennedavids.card.co, you will click on the first link so that every day when we do these live conversations, that first link will be the actual resource I'm referencing. So if it's a book, if it's like some of the memoirs, or if it's some of the journals from the 18th century that I've also have access to, or if it's links to other resources, I will share it with you so you can go and read it. You can access it yourself and be like, ek gaan nou myself die dinge as dit lees. I know I don't, maar ek gaan nou try so that you can decide for yourself, because all I'm going to offer you is the truth, a perspective, and hopefully a kind and respectful opportunity to have that conversation together so we can get to the truth together. So you can find the document there. I posted the entire 4-page court ruling, or the outcome, and like I was saying, that whole charade of the whole thing and the men's, there wasn't even need for that, because once empowered with the real truth about who you are as a categorized colored person, because that is a category, as much as there are elements out of that category that have formed part of a echo of who our people are, our culture, our heritage, and that in itself, when you know exactly who you are, when you know exactly what the laws are, then you are free to walk into a situation like this, facing the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, as a small Aboriginal community in a small town outside of Tilburg, Kluitjieskraal, where probably nobody really knows, nobody even thinks about. You're not going to go search it. Hey, I wonder what I want today. Let's go check and see what's happening in Kluitjieskraal. You're not going to hear it in the news because it's not going to feed the narrative, because this is going to set you free. This small community's court document took a lot less. I heard when I heard Queen Val's response on this, she said, you know what, this is so comprehensive and so complete, but it didn't even need to be. It could have just been 5 minutes and an 8 case dismissed. So I'm not going to keep you in suspense any longer. I'm going to quickly go to the comments, say hello to everybody that is here already. If you've just joined in, welcome. Thank you so much. Consider joining the tribe. That means becoming a follower, not a follower, being a searcher for the truth in a kind way, trying to reduce suffering in the world. Be free to share your comments. You can go ahead and say where you're from. You can agree, disagree, as long as we have a respectful conversation. And then you can also post some questions. And if you are able to go live, once I've at least gotten through the breakdown, I'm going to open up the space, and whoever would like to have a conversation on a live conversation, we can then connect live, and then all of us can then pursue the truth. So kom ons kyk gou. And if you could share this, I would love that too. I really would appreciate it if we could get as many people that have the opportunity to do it. Maybe that's the reason why you're here. Maybe that's the reason why you arrived and you were like, he's the man I know live. Because you were supposed to be like, oh, now I'm supposed to be the node that connects another group of people that might not know about what is happening. So let me share it. Let me do the things that does that. And it's not because we'll get to that. We've got another whole bunch of videos that we're going to share with each other, and conversation we're going to share around how these platforms work. So I just want to make sure how silly would it be if I'm now busy out here talking and the mic Vicky. Oh, that would have sucked. Aisha, is that you? Yesterday, man. Oh, I'm so glad to see you. Love. Welcome. Let's see, we have so many people here. Ek kan nou nie so mooi sien nie ook, en nou is ook 'n bietjie ver, en maar julle is welkom. You are welcome. Please feel free to speak in your own language, your mother tongue. Don't feel that you cannot, nobody's going to understand you. And if you are able to understand the language that somebody else is, and we are not equipped because we have been robbed of the opportunity to share in the diversity of all of our cultures and actually be interested in wanting to learn instead of just saying, hulle praat Engels. Oh, they speak Afrikaans. We don't even get a chance to learn. So please help us heal by connecting us to the truth that we can really learn from each other, and it's not everybody just for themselves. Translate and help us share the views, because nobody's a view or opinion should be silenced. Even if we don't agree, we can disagree respectfully. So welcome everybody that's here. Thank you so much. Kaigang Gunks, Awe Ashton. Who's that? Sorry man, ek moet nog ek dink ek moet maar nog 'n bietjie van 'n journey vat met daai master met my is nou nie so lekker nie man. Maar hallo julle. Baie liefde. I think that's good. Okay, let's go. You're all welcome, and please feel free to share your views. So let's go straight into the reason why we're here. We are now going to explore, what does this court case mean? What is this document actually about? You can have your own version, my website, and the thing, and that's right. All right. This court case was specifically regarding a piece of land that was being occupied by the Aboriginal people in that area. The fact that there was security, lack of services, that there are, here's the other one, this is the part where it's like there is a interdict even against the people, and all these other types of accusations against people just trying to live. We have no wealth, we have no true future if we don't have land. And this is not a split the country in half because, but you must fight the real enemy, and we know who the real enemies are. But we need to be able to defeat the enemy within ourselves and within our own communities if we even stand a chance of standing together to fight our true enemy. And this victory in the fact that the Aboriginal people or the colored people were able to prove in a court of law, because that's always what everybody says, but there's no court, and you know that the laws are like this, in a court of law, without having to have a back and forth and have a your honor this and a your honor that, created another victory for Aboriginal people because they proved who they were, the sovereignty that exists. So this is what I'd like you to understand of this document. We are sovereign, Aboriginal, autonomous, national living freemen and women. Right? If you approach the court and you go stand in the bunker and you accept the purpose or the help of a attorney, or if you stand there as yourself and you're like, okay, no, I'm going to represent myself, you automatically represent the entity or the corporation, which is you, which is the certificate is your birth certificate that proves that you are just another commodity, a cattle to the slaughter, a puppet to the elite, another commodity that could be bought and sold and just adds to the value to the few that have everything, the 1%, they so speak. You no longer fall under the laws of nature or the Aboriginal laws. And the thing that's really interesting about this is everybody that kind of like is going to be, but you guys are talking rubbish, you don't have a history, you don't have a culture, and this is just some new thing that you guys are jumping on. If you understand how this document, and if you've perused it a little bit, I'm going to highlight a few sections out of it just so that you can understand the magnitude of this. This shows that the jurisdiction, so the ability to decide for or to exercise the law that exists or that is being practiced, it does not lay, that decision, that power is not in the hands of the registrar, of the judge, the tax master, public works and infrastructure, the clerk of the court, and any of the other foreign, non alive or non-entity, because that's what they are. They're dead entities. So if it means that you are in a courtroom in your own homelands, where you're a descendant of the indigenous people, even though they are trying to prosecute you for daai bankie ganja wat jy nou probeer verkoop net om jou familie te voed, just because you are being persecuted because the debt that you've had to create in order for you to just survive, that now you are incapable of paying back because there's no other real economic opportunities for you. Now you're standing in a courtroom saying, nou hoe gaan jy betaal vir die wat uitstaande is? Ons gaan nou maar alles vat, en jy het in any case nothing to take. Those laws, that purpose for bringing you, it is illegal. Right? I know, mind absolutely shattered. Because the laws and those people, they do not have jurisdiction over you as a natural free man or woman. So while that just sinks in, I'm going to reference a page, some of the first page. Ne? And in the first page, this is the part that really opens the door. It's in the middle. It says the legal status or standing of nationality of and these are the people that are in the Kluitjieskraal community and the others attached to this court case. And if you want the court case number, you don't want to use my document. Yeah, you guys are sharing propaganda again. The court case number, you can go search for it on SA File, or what is that legal for? It's case number 14414-2023. In that high court document, the legal status and standing of the Kluitjieskraal, or the colored people, in response to the court, was that as a sovereign Aboriginal national living freeman of South Africa and Southern Africa, in proporia persona sur, you see, this is where they start trying to confuse you, because again, it's not even in English or Afrikaans, or is it Xhosa or Zulu, or it is in a Latin, in Rome, in a conqueror language. We are majors. Sui juris independent. That just means that you are a independent, except for Aboriginal children below the age of 18, as per the Black Laws Dictionary, 4th edition. So already, from the word go, other than saying, yo, no, we're the Khoisan, and oh, no, we're the Aboriginals, and oh, and yes, we can have the semantic conversation, and we can have the conversation, oh, yeah, but Etienne, but this, actually what this means, and this is what the term, we can get around that conversation, we can have that, it's fine. I just don't want that to be the reason why we miss the impact of this. A lot of people are asking, so what does this mean? What does the Queen's court case result mean for me as a color? This is what it means. By employing the same legal protocol, following the same strategy, you prove that you are a real human being, a person, an individual, a major, a living man or woman, natural freeman in flesh, body, and the blood flows, and not under the color of law or colorable law or act, rule, statutes, codes, legislation, law of any corporation, crown, or Pope Vatican. And I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden there's now even less people watching, or something happens to the feed or the rest. But it probably won't, because you know why? I have faith in the Most High. And the reason why we even are having this conversation, and why so many other people are having this, and you even are trying to see, hey, I heard this from somebody else, is this true? Is because of the fact that you cannot hide the truth for forever. So when you say follow these processes, this literally means as a South African, as an individual, you no longer are under a dead artificial entity with no jurisdiction. That then falls on the actual state and corporation, because that is what South Africa is. And the minister, in this case, the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, including the judge, taxing master, the registrar, the clerk of the court, they are not in their sovereign capacity. All of them are not in propria persona, or an individual, real person, sovereign capacity. So because of this, the sovereign and or Aboriginal laws are based on universal laws, natural laws, laws of Maxim, our Almighty God's laws, and not your God, the government, ordinance department, gold, oil, or diamonds. Ek weet nie, ek kan nie sign language nie, man. Or Caesar's bourgeoisie, and the sovereign law, which is above any corporation or government's contract law or constitutional law. So when people were saying, yes, this court case broke the Constitution or destroyed the Constitution, it didn't mean that it made the country fall into chaos and that everything is now uitmekaar uit en alles is nou, hier gaat ons nou in die, it's the end times. And no. What it means is that the power or the authority, the jurisdiction, the ability to decide for you, and that governs you as the human, a human being, no longer rests in them, it rests in you. And because of this, we are no longer shallot or property. And that's what your birth certificate is. That is the receipt that the owner of the corporation has of you being their property or slave of the South African corporation or South African government or any corporation. Now, I know this is a lot, and this is such a lot of stuff, and it's really, it's the kind of thing that you're like, okay, nee, ek hoor wat jy sê, ek wil ook brase, gee vir my ook jou herbalist en noem my, wat 'n strange is that? Because it sounds like it's impossible. It sounds like it's the kind of thing that, this happens in America, where, like liberation, and this is like what happens overseas. In South Africa, we toy. In South Africa, we burn shit, pardon my French. Don't be caught in the illusion, the dream state that they have been trying to keep us in by perpetuating fear, by perpetuating division, because there is only one race, the human race. We are different cultures, we are different backgrounds, we have different skills, and but we are one race, the human race, of the others that exist in the universe, in the everything. And we'll get to that. But I want to just quickly come back to this document. So since this community in Kluitjieskraal, up the road from here in Tilbach side, because they were able to prove that they are in a court, in a high court, in a high court, that they have jurisdiction over themselves as sovereign entities, living free man and woman, and that they are bound by the laws of nature, Aboriginal laws, sovereignty, natural laws, and laws of Maxim, Almighty God, not the false God, government, ordinance, and department, or gold and oil and diamonds. Because of that, the case was dismissed. No? Okay, we heard what you said. Kan julle nou asseblief vir my net sit en luister, ek is die nothing. Nothing. Not bailiff, alle polismense, julle, nothing. They have no jurisdiction. That is what that means for you. So, read this document. No corporate jurisdiction over the natural man or the living freeman or sovereign. And if you like to reference the America so much, go check the Supreme Court of the United States in 1795 that said, inasmuch as every government is an artificial person, an abstraction and a creature of the mind only, a government can interfere only with other artificial persons. The imaginary, having never actuality nor substance, is foreclosed for creating and attaining parity with the tangible. Daar is net klomp mooi groot woorde, om te sê, you don't own me. And that, my people, is one portion of the document I really would like to break down, and then there's one last portion I want to express before I open up the floor for those that want to ask some questions or open up and have a debate around this. It doesn't have to be around this. It can be about anything else. We can have a conversation on our questions. Just be respectful. Please be kind, and let's be after the truth. But the other portion I really would like you to understand is on page 3. On page 3 of the document, there is mention of the coat of arms. The national coat of arms, as intended, as much for civil servants and to the highest servants as for the public, who are the ultimate authority whom government should serve. For us that was like, okay, no, maar wat the beep. What this, you've always heard this like, oh, we're a government for the people, by the people. That, that's what that means. That coat of arms is the same thing that they keep saying, oh yes, when they come into the court, they're like, oh yeah, no, they're not going, yes, judge, ek moet nou gou kniel. And if you've never been to court, blessed be, but I mean, as I go to the court, dan kniel die mense, and you think you're doing it for the judge, it's that coat of arms. Today, lawyers, and here's the part, today lawyers underline the importance of the coat of arms by bowing as they enter the court. The lawyers are not bowing to the judge, they're bowing to the coat of arms on the wall above the judge to show respect for our Aboriginal system of justice. Daai's amper soos somebody comes and rents from your house a room, nee? And before they rent a room in your house, you give them, kykie, hier's die wet. Dis wat kind hierso. This is how we do dinge. Jy moet onthou, as long as you are under my roof, is die ding wat jy moet dala. Then, this inside person that is living in your home, in the room, starts checking him out. He's an ander way om. Want die ander mense wat hier in die huis is, hulle besef nie eintlik wat kind hier nie. So ek gaan nou vir hulle en kyk wie val af voor. Hoe meer mense val, the more people that I can convince that what I'm going to tell them is the law is true, the more it works in my favor. Ek weet mos, hulle weet nie wat die actual laws is. And that's what this is, the government and the constitution and those other instruments used as artificial tools to rule you and keep you enslaved. That's what those people and all these freedom speakers and all these, the Illuminati and all, that's what everybody is trying to get you to understand, overstand, understand. And the fact that it's now reached our shores here in South Africa and have finally arrived at the Aboriginal South Africans, the indigenous people of Africa, around Africa, the continent, we are seeing a rise in the overstanding and understanding that we need to unify and we need to take back in the form of what they are using to enslave us as a weapon to void it. And we have found that. Excuse me. We found that in using this. So on page 3 again, you'll see the coat of arms hangs on the back of the court. And the South African coat of arms, the symbol and the language in the courtroom stipulates our Aboriginal native laws acknowledgement. This therefore means that the South African Corporation, or SA Inc., and if you also want to have a conversation around that, we can have a conversation. I can show you the certificate. You can go search for it yourself. South African Inc., or the South African Corporation, its laws are null and void, as no free, prior, and informed consent, and neither is there jurisdiction or vassalage between given to the SA Corporation or South African Inc. by the sovereign Aboriginal national living freemen to South Africa. Ek raak so excited en ek weet ek kan miskien dalk die boodskap verduister deur dit te sê, maar of so excited te raak, but let me just explain to you what that means. What this means is that the same reason why I couldn't get employment because I had a criminal record for 10 years and how that besmirched me, that law which was being exercised with specific intention of robbing you as an Aboriginal, a free man, an indigenous human being, free woman, of your true natural rights, of knowing the truth about who you actually are, about understanding that this game of politics and this power struggle thing that they toy in front of you with the politicians and but that one isn't really Amakosa and this one isn't really Amakoi or this one. All of that is so that you don't know this, that these laws are made up, that this country is a corporation, and through exercising your right as a sovereign human being, a living person in a courtroom, when you're taken to court, you are set free. And that the issues of legal status, legal standing, jurisdiction, and adjudication, that's in pro se, starting adjudicating as a minor. Any legal status or legal standing over the sovereign Aboriginal living free man, any jurisdiction over the sovereign Aboriginal national living free man, or any adjudication, none of them exist in the power of the company, which is SA, or SA Inc., or its laws. And now I see your invitation there. For Dwayne. Now, this means the only people who can issue any laws are people who are in their sovereign capacity as Aboriginal national living man or woman in propria persona. This is page 4, the end of the document. You'll see right at the top. That is what that says. The only people who can issue law are people who are in their sovereign capacity as Aboriginal natural living man or woman in propria persona. The corporations and governments are not and can never be sovereign. They are not real and are fictional. The Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure, including the judge, taxing master, the registrar, the clerk of the court, lacks inherent jurisdiction in a quorum non-judice, which means that they don't have any of their powers because they have no ability to prove that they are actually the sovereigns or have the ability to exercise that. Therefore, all the laws created by these government corporations are private corporate regulations called public laws, statutes, codes, ordinances to conceal their true nature. And that's from the Black Laws Dictionary, 4th edition. Now, you can go and read the rest of the document yourself, okay? And I know that it's but if you go to my website, you don't have to go to my website. It's the first thing there. It will be there until the end of until tomorrow when I do another live conversation where we continue having the safe space to talk. But you can go and search on the High Court, daai plek waar hulle al die ander files en goed is, and I'll give you the court case number. The case number you can go and search for is 144142023. Another time, slower. 1 4 4 1 4. Daai dingetjie. 2023. Now, I think the floor is open for whoever would be willing. I'm going to quickly look at the comments. And here's something I also want to share. Please, if you see me in public or if you maybe feel compelled to have a conversation with me, use discernment and understand that we are living in a very sensitive time. And of course, you haven't heard a lot of this information. Of course, it's not. And I'm not saying I'm special. Please don't get caught in anybody trying to glorify and ride this as a way for the intention of gaining more popularity. That is not somebody that is going to feed you more truth. They are luring you with the truth. You are able to discern for yourself when there is an opportunity to have this conversation. That's why we have this ability so that we can connect online. Send me a message on thingy, connect in the tribe. We're going to look at trying to create another opportunity for us to have more conversations in a little bit more easier platform as well. But we're going to do these things together. I just would like to ask you to please, like I keep asking us all to practice, including myself. And trust me, I say it to myself every day. Remember to move in kindness and be respectful. This does not mean that we are now substituting being right. I would rather have it be the truth than be right. But I'd be happy to connect with you, and I'd be happy to share with you, and I'd be happy to have more conversations with you. But it's not going to happen if we don't interact. And when you hear people that are creating content like this, or if you connect with other profiles that are sharing news, information, perspective, whether you agree with them or not, that is talking about something that affects and impacts you, use the thing that everybody asks you to do that helps you look popular by liking, comment, sharing, bookmarking, stitching on this platform. In the others, making another video, downloading without watermark. Do all the stuff that everybody's always told, so that part of what we are doing is sharing more of the truth to more people so that they may interpret it, discern for themselves, decide for themselves, and then we will also see, Keiki, this is actually true, because we will learn more from each other if we are open to want to learn from each other than we are by trying to face off and be like, mix masala. Jy sê moet vir my sê ek is mix masala nie. Where's your root? That's how. Don't get caught in this ridiculous battle of division. It's the same Roman strategy of divide and conquer. We are so much stronger together. Ek voel al klaar hier. Here is a pastor. Okay, I'm done. I'm going to go look at the comments, and I'm going to listen to see if anybody would like to connect live and actually be part of the conversation. If you just jumped in, you can see the live document on my website, etiennedavids.card.co, 2 R's in card. First link, there's the full court case. If you don't want that, you can also download it yourself. Susan, hi, Susan Roch. Yes, Aisha, fabulous. Welcome, Kami, Susan Roch. Yes, we are truth. We are living creatures. We are living beings, entities that exist beyond these corporate laws and fictitious institutions and vehicles that are keeping us oppressed. This is not a political platform. It is not a, ja, maar ek gaan vote vir die, ek gaan vote. This is an expose on the fact that you are free if you are informed. So we need to inform more people, Ashton. So see, we're not used to getting a win. So it's kind of unreal, almost unbelievable. Exactly. Imagine if over the span of generations, your reality has always been survival mode. Net genoeg. Hand tot mond. Nie wit genoeg. And I don't want to make this about race, but I want you to understand our reality. Because our reality, and you not agreeing with it, does not make it irrelevant or it not exist. Not white enough, not black enough. Amongst our own community, not Afrikaans enough. Not English enough. In our own neighborhoods, not rich enough, not poor enough, not connected enough, not with the right family enough. Everything about our community and everything about what keeps us oppressed has been driven by one idea: division. Division. Kyk, even in ons tronke, the place where most of our lost souls, most of our people that need freedom and healing are trapped in cells. They're trapped in cells. And even there, they're divided. But in the division, there's this remnants of the ability to be united. Alle is daar verskillende nommers. Is daar die nomme? And I'm not promoting violence. What I'm saying is that we need you to understand we love you and we want you to be healed. Sorry, man, ek raak. Anyway, let's see who else is here. Kitsecho, you promised to answer me how you, a mixed person, become Aboriginal. Okay, Kitsecho, I think I sent you a message and I asked you if you'd like to come on and have a conversation around that. I'm an Aboriginal descendant. I'm not trying to prove anything, and I also would like to encourage everybody else that is finding their identity and finding who they really are, discovering the truth for themselves. Not being baited into an argument because you're not trying to prove to anyone other than the thing that you yourself are able to experience. I'm not sure where you're from. I don't know what your intention is. Me, this man, I am an Aboriginal descendant of the Bondel Zwartse, a direct descendant of the Tartarian civilization. And I know it's hard for people to even come to terms with something like that, because there's lots of information around the Moors, lots of information around ancient civilizations that you're going to dismiss and you're going to label as like, yeah, that's what the white man and the colonizers, because that's part of what was designed by Bantu education, which doesn't mean Bantu in the derogatory term that you're probably going to hear this in, but in the way that it was formulated to brainwash and condition people into separating and dividing each other. Who I am shouldn't affect you. It shouldn't touch you so much. Who you are is more important, because everyone that comes after you, you are the tip of the spear. Everyone before you depends on you knowing that, standing tall and embracing that. And at every avenue, I encourage you to do that. I encourage all of us to do that, because it's what makes us so amazing, that unifies us. And sowing more division by not allowing an opportunity to explore what's true just because I don't agree with it is counterproductive. So I'd like to ask you, what does if I send you my bloodline, I send you documents and texts with dates that you're going to be like, no, but there were no people that I had in it. If I send you photographs, what difference does it make? What difference does it make to you? Does that add more kindness in the world? Does it add more opportunity for freedom for people? And if it is, let's say that my lineage or where I come from is right like what you say. Let's say it is what you say and I'm not Aboriginal. What difference does that make on the truth? What impact does that have on if I am telling the truth about the Aboriginal people, about the indigenous descendants, and nobody else is sharing the kind of, and if I say nobody else, please don't misunderstand. I'm not thinking, oh yeah, this man knows everything. I'm just saying by nobody, I mean those nobodies, the entities that do not exist, the fictitious media that perpetuates the idea of this corporation and the slavery through your birth and the cattle that you actually are. Because nobody's talking about this. Why can't we share it? Why can't we have the conversation around it connected properly, kind and respectful, and explore the truth and not try to belittle and attack someone? And I hope that as passionate, I got to your comment at a time when I really felt an emotional point that I know you feel too. Because how many are Makosa? How many Sivenda? How many Zulu? How many Ndebele? How many other people, African people, melaninated people, are behind bars, are caught in a system perpetuating the cycle of poverty, the cycle of trauma, the continued enslavement of our generation after generation, where people like you and me are fighting each other so that we can pass a spear and a shield to the next generation, instead of us unifying and building a platform that allows our next generation to rise above the shortcomings of those that came before us, including ourselves, so that they may build a future that me and you can't even imagine, that is inclusive and kind and respectful. So the fact that you might be, but lad, are you shouting? And it's an emotional thing for me, because I can feel what it feels like in my memories when I think of times when people called me a tire nayer, when people told me I'm a half-breed. And I know you've got pain also from people trying to hurt you, but the thing that brings us to a place of unity and the thing that brings us to a place of healing is when we understand that that person trying to harm and hurt you or me so deeply is so hurt, so broken, so traumatized, and so caught in something that they're not even aware of, and in slavery of their mind and in slavery of their body. And for as long as we are fighting amongst each other and not pursuing the truth, we will continue to send more cattle to the slaughterhouse. So I hope that we can put this to bed and we can go to the main idea, the main focus. No human being should be enslaved. No human being should be suffering. No human being should feel as though the future is something that is in the hands of other people, other organizations, or not even be aware of the power that they possess themselves in changing and obtaining and manifesting the future that can exist in peace and love and kindness. So I'm done with you now. I respectfully would like to ask that I'm not going to engage with you on any of these types of questions regarding, but your originality, your verification of you being an Aboriginal or a descendant. I don't want to have that conversation with you. Unless in some way you can tell me in what I am trying to do in my own capacity as a person here, just another person like you that doesn't know what Guan. I'm just discovering and feeling that because I'm ill-equipped, that I can't tell you all the answers. I have to ask others, my fellow community, more people, more human beings. Let's do this together. So thank you. I'm done with that. So how does dark skin become Aboriginal when all dark skin is from the equator around the world? We can have the melaninated conversation on another day, and I see that that's obviously the issue we need to have here. Either Khoi or Bantu both share ancestry in Africa. Just curious, just how you become Aboriginal. Mo Money, welcome Mo Money. Aware, Mo Money, what's up, bro? Why are you so emotional? Sorry, man, if you just jumped in, I don't know if you caught the rest of it, but I will be putting a replay, I'm sure. I don't know if I'm going to edit it out, but I feel like that's part of the reason why we are even having these kinds of conversations, because so many people feel like things have to happen behind closed doors. They have to be fixed and changed and edited and made comfortable. And why? Why can't you just watch it for the end? And those that want to watch all of it with all the ums, ahs, and the rest of it, they will, because they are in pursuit of the truth. Please explain why you never claimed they Bantu heritage, only this divisive. I'm not going to have that conversation. Who says we don't? Thank you, Kami, for handling that. And this is also why I appeal to you all. I need you to represent what you consider the truth, because we can all agree what is respectful and what's kind. To help in the comments. Be part of the conversation. Don't be on the sidelines. Don't stand by anymore. Don't just have the conversation amongst your own people and in your own house and with your friends that just continue to perpetuate the cognitive bias of looking for the thing that supports your argument. Let's be proactive. It's only through action that we will have change. I'm a child of Kham, but also have forefathers from both Nguni and European. Aisha, thank you. Donovan Brickman, welcome. Exactly. I'm a barbarian. I have both Khoi and Malay ancestry. Celebrate it. Celebrate it. Kami, unfortunately, my most oppressed forefathers, the ones that will almost erase, of which the erasure continues, are the Khoi. Kham people. We don't talk about that Holocaust, do we? We don't talk about the genocide that happened with the Aboriginal indigenous people. We are more concerned with but you're not from them. And what about all those people that lost their lives, that laid down their lives, that were slaughtered unnecessarily for the sake of conquest? Come on now, we can do better. We can do so much better than that, because we are able to. We don't need someone else to dictate it for us. Aisha, thank you for the love. Aisha, Megan, afternoon, everyone. Welcome, Megan. Why is it a problem that I claim the relation? Donovan, welcome. Good afternoon, Natalie Camp. Exactly. Why can't we speak about it without being ridiculed about it? I think that we need to really focus on being kind. And I know that it's easy for us as people that identify as colored. And here's the thing, and I don't want to bring gender into this, because that in its own is another. But if we look at the act of cornality, the joining with to become one. When you're growing up and you've never committed the act, you've never dived on in, you can watch movies, and I'm not promoting that you do that, but you can watch movies, you can read books, you can hear stories from the brasa and the sister sir and the other people and the older brother but until that moment that it actually happens to you, nothing prepares you for what it is until you know entirely and you give yourself into, okay, no reservation, there's no kering hierso. Ek gee oor, act of faith. I'm just going to be like, and then what you experience out of that is so unique. It's yours. You can't, that's why people can't describe it and can't explain it. And it's been cheapened down. But we'll have a conversation around the beautiful connection between man and woman and intimacy and all that and all man and all that. Oh, we can have all that conversation at another time. But right now, I really don't want to take away from what we are discussing. We're discussing the outcome of the Kluitjieskraal court appearance, the High Court appearance between the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure and the Kluitjieskraal Aboriginal Collective Community, also known as unknown persons, as per court case 14414/2023. This court win, this victory, this change in what is going to shake the foundations of the world. This is number 2. Number 1 was when Queen Valerie did the same in the Durban High Court. And that's what everybody's asking. What does it mean for me? It sets you free because it helps you explain you are a natural human being, that you are a real person, and all this other fake stuff that is trying to control you is not in charge of you. Let's quickly go back to the Natalie Camp. Exactly. Why can't we speak about it without being ridiculed? We don't need to ridicule anyone. No one deny you guys, but why you always try to subtract Khoi from black race? Subtract? What are you talking about? They're not black. What race are they? Yeah, the human race. That's what I said at the beginning. Clearly you have a problem with comprehension. And I didn't want to be rude, but it seems like you don't know how to take a moment, marinate on something, and not just disagree. You don't have to have an opinion on everything. Naz, and yeah, please come with Etienne, you should just take your own advice. I don't care, man. I'm strong in my faith. I know who I am. I believe in my creator. I am connected to mutual light truth seekers that empower me every day with positivity that supersedes and shadows all the negative energy that comes through. And the small little highlight that you had wasn't even about you. It was about trying to educate and train and shine a light on the others who are not focusing on shining the light on themselves, maar wil eendag advies daar and check first in your own eye before you start pointing out what's in the other. BT in the house, Sandy BT. You look black to me with an afro hair, but why can't you? Anyway, your accent is beautiful. Venerique Chante Jossoin. I'm so sorry, I do not really know how to pronounce your name. Veronique, I think it is Veronique Chante Jossoin. I'm a talented voice artist. I've had a lot of opportunity as a comedian. I've done a lot of MC work on radio, and I like to create, like humor, laughing. I feel is the way I dealt with my pain growing up as a child. I made people laugh that way. The things that hurt me was deflected. And I have been obsessed with accents from all over the world because I researched my history and where I come from before even all of this became a popular topic. But merci. I appreciate the fact that you are here. Consider joining the group and possibly contributing a share or a comment and joining us every day and contributing a portion of knowledge to the search of truth. Donovan, my mother was Khoi from Naisna. Naisna, mooi wereld. Love Naisna. Kami, race is a tool of colonization intended to simplify the division. Black is not a proper description of identity. Alright, ek gaan nou nie meer vir so enige meer aandag gee nie, so let's keep going. Thank you. I see everybody else has got it. And can you see what impact it has when each one teach one and we take responsibility and we act? Not wait for someone else to do it. You step in and you do the thing that's right. And you do the thing to connect with someone in a respectful, kind way. And you actually engage and find out, what is this? Why? What is the intention? What's the backing behind it? Because that's what brings you to the truth. All right, so okay, so I don't want to continue having more of a hard conversation around something that, but why do you not want Christians only want people to agree with what you're saying? All right, I'm going to ask you one more time, and I'm asking you directly, Mr. Tsitse. So I'm going to ask everybody that's here. There's 16 people watching right now. I don't know how many other people might be because you've shared it. Thank you if you did. I appreciate love you for having the discernment and for being willing to do that, because I know it takes courage to want to share something that's radical, that might even cause you to also be the victim of ridicule, and of course as part of this. And I think back of one of my mentors that always, oh man, very, very wise man, said, and this is not trying to, I'm not mocking the black scent, but I want to keep Etienne, there's something you must understand. People who are looking for controversy, people who are looking to point out fault, they are the ones, the same like the one who thinks the partner is cheating and accuses her or him, but in actual fact is the one cheating themselves. That is what is happening. I'm like, yeah. That is part of my experience, not only in across the interaction that I have with people around the world. But I want you to understand that this is about sharing a message of unity. And my question is, if anyone has ever seen my content, if you've ever looked at my profile, if you've ever gone and done that deep dive investigation, which I know our women are really good at, and all women, shout out to you for being the number one oppressed. Forget your skin color. Forget your culture. The fact that you were just born with the ability to give life, your struggle in itself is being, we'll get to that. I just want to ask, if anywhere in my content you've seen, I have literally done what this man has said. I only look for questions and only look for engagements that support and agree with what I'm trying to say. If that's the truth, I'll stop. I'll stop right now. Today, I won't make any more content. I will no longer share my opinion. I will no longer put out, and I will do exactly what everybody else that gets to that point where they give in to the amount of ridiculous attacks that come without provocation, that have no real intention of contributing to the true movement forward of liberation of all people, that aren't rooted in respect and kindness, but then feel like, nee man, ek gaan nie meer nie, ek help. Weet jy, Etienne, ek het al baie mense gehelp, my liewe. Baie mense, baie, ek het tot my goede opgeoffer, maar dan vat hulle my vir 'n one, man. Ek gaan nooit weer nie, man. Mense is full as people that get to that point, they've been hurt really badly. I'm not going to, if you can prove that that is true, that your thing that I have cognitive bias, I'm happy to take off my hat, hang up my mic, go back and stand on a corner and busk, make a bit of music, maybe see if somebody will book me as a comedian or as an MC at their wedding or their 50th or whatever again, and wait. Because whether I'm involved or not, the truth will always come to the surface, and the revelation and the revolution is inevitable. So ek is nou klaar. Good day, afternoon Etienne. How's it? Jacques James, nice to see you. Ek gaan nou nie enige comments lees wat daai oom se handle in het, of wat enigiets te doen het met daai gesprek oor the division. We're not trying to divide people here. We're trying to have a discourse in respect. These negative comments only fuel the movement. Give thanks for that, Busman. I appreciate, love you. You speak the truth. I'm not country division like you, and I won't. How can you be coy? Okay, also ask that again. I'm not asking that. Listen to understand. That is the political tool of division. Yes. Okay, Kami, you are on it. If you haven't seen Kami's content, go and check him out. The land of Kham. Also, really nice stuff there. There's lots of creators that are out here doing beautiful things. I still haven't got an invitation from anybody that wants to join me in a live debate. Not even this woman that wants to sow division. Donovan, I like you, my brother. You're a beautiful soul. Oh my goodness. Thank you for that compliment. I appreciate, love you. No, then, okay. Amen. Here we go. Amen. We're not doing any more of the other man's comments. No, I'm sorry. And that is called preference and the freedom of choice, not oppression. Please get it straight. So ek sien nou nie daar's enigiemand anders wat dalk nog enigiets wil add in. The most important thing that needs to be the takeaway from today, and if you just jumped in, I'm just going to take a small section to summarize it so that you can also be like, okay, ek weet nie, ek het nou maar net die ingeval en die braad nog 'n bietjie emotional geraak en bekleus, wie's die ander broer en wie's Gamie en wat gaan die ander? We just bring you back to the genesis of what we're busy with. We are discussing the result of the empowerment of people of being able to challenge the fictitious structures, the colonial oppressive laws, corporate greed, manipulation, and imperialism in the highest court in our land. Let me say that again. In the highest court in our land. Well, they call it the high court. We still got to go. But I mean the high court, right? And by applying the principles that are being shared by Aboriginal, Indigenous people, and learning and understanding what it means to take courage, not just seek the truth, not just be out here trying to point out who isn't telling the truth, but take the truth. Ja, ek weet, dis hy skuld, dis kom by ook na my chakra bietjie nou laat blok, maar gaan dit nie toelaat nie, my creator live, everything that flows through me comes through source, because more important than anything is unity. You have the ability to collapse the South African corporation that owns the company, SA Inc. and the rest. You have the ability to supersede the fake jurisdiction that the court has, and the fake laws and the bylaws and the ordinances that exist in this manipulated system that they call democracy, in the high court, without any back and forth, because of the fact that you are able to prove that you yourself are a in propria persona sui juris independent. We are majors, except for our Aboriginal children below 18 years old. We are living man and woman, natural, free man and woman in flesh, body, and blood flows, and not under the color of law, or colorable law, or act, rule, statute, code, legislation, law of any corporation, crown, or Pope Vaticanus. I'm telling you that you're going to see this so many places. You're going to start questioning who's sending you this, and is this the truth, and who's this, and what they're talking about. You're going to start saying, yeah, but what about that registration thing? Is this real? You're going to start asking, yeah, but what about that Humanities Africa app? And is that real? What about those other creators that are talking about like this thing about colored culture, Aboriginal culture, and the history of our people, and what actually happened? And you're going to start asking that bra that you didn't really ever talk to, that you had some sort of a negative interaction with, that came to you and said, "Het jy gehoor?" What your job is, and look here, now I'm making you again just agree with me. Your job is to take that which you have now discovered, or that you consider to be the truth, marinate on it, and apply it, so that you can be healed in your own life, so that you can heal in your immediate family, you can heal in your entire family, your community, your neighborhood, your people, your continent, and your planet. Once we move through this birthing stage, every mom that has given birth, I commend you. Every dad, first-time dad, I'm a first-time dad. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, don't feel bad. If you weren't able to be there, don't feel bad. You need to be there. When you are there, that's when it matters. Just be there. Moms, the fact that you went through those Braxton Hicks concoctions, contract concoctions, that's what this feels like. But we're crowning. And each and every one of these indigenous descendants are receiving their true crown, so you can take your place as a sovereign, free human being, soul carrier. And we can be kind, we can be healed, we can be unified, and we can take back our future. I'm grateful to each and every one of you that are watching this now. For those of you that are watching it later, if you are watching this on YouTube, check the link in the bottom. There's a bunch of all of the stuff that I've been talking about. You'll find the registration form there. You'll find the court document that I put there. You'll find some other helpful resources there. Please be respectful in the comments. I'd love to hear where you're from. If you're watching this on TikTok and it's maybe sticky or whichever, or you're still with me, in my bio is my website. You can type that into your browser. You can type it into your computer. And if you take the first option every day, that first option, that first little tab will have the reference to the document or the journal or the whatever evidence I'm using to have this conversation, to open this conversation. You'll find it there until the next day. You will then find option 2 is the registration form that I am doing in my own capacity. And I must express this again. As much as I've had conversation with the Queen, and even though any other, I will never ever ask you for money. I will never ever ever, and no one else will ever ask you for money in order for you to get this form, to be part of the registration database, to get information or access to this. If anybody even uses my likeness, uses my voice, or because you know in which age we live in, the minute they start asking you for money, you'll know it's not me. En al die mense wat ek geld skuld, relax man. Ons almal skuld almal 'n bietjie geld. It's coming. We are working together. The truth is important. I love you. I love you. We can be kind. We can be respectful. And we can be free if we are united. We give thanks and praise to our Creator for the gift of life, love, and peace that we experience in this life and in all the lives to come. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Many blessings to you. Kaigangangs. Kaise kure. Sjoe, die oom wil beklei jong, wat is ek wanneer, is die ding geëindig nog nie?